everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to do a necklace and earring set using pieces from the Bargain Bead Box February 2021 edition. So Bargain Bead Box is a monthly subscription service where they send all this wonderful stuff straight to your door for $17.95 a month. I love it. It's my favorite, and I usually get, I don't know, 13 to 15 pieces of jewelry out of it for $17.98. That's a pretty good deal. If you're interested in subscribing, I do have a coupon code. It is Wendy2. That will get you $2 off of your first month's subscription box. Or if you don't want to subscribe, you just want to shop in their store, it will get you $2 off in their store. Now, when you subscribe to them, you get a 30% off coupon to use in their store over and over all month long, as many times as you want. So it's really a great deal. I love Bargain Bead Box, so if you're interested in that, there will be links in the description box below. And so we're going to get right into this. So what you're going to need if you want to make this necklace is you are going to need, we'll do the necklace first, then we'll deal with the earrings if we have time. If not, I may have to do that in another video, but we'll see what we have time for. So you're going to need 5 of these metal dagger beads. Now, I thought these were really cool because I've never seen these in metal. I've only seen them in glass. So you're going to need 5 of those. You're going to need 5 of these beautiful quartz beads that were in the box this month. And I'm trying to grab my paper. Oh, I just spilled a bunch of stuff. I bet y'all heard that. I was trying to grab my paper from the box because I wanted to see what some of these, I think these are agate, and they are, I believe. Let me look here. Crackle agate beads. Yes. Okay. So you're going to need a bunch of them. I'm not sure exactly how many because I don't know. Let me see how many I have here. I have got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 of the crackle agate beads. So one we're not going to end up using. We'll probably use 14 of them. But yeah, the crackle agate beads from the box this month. And then you're going to need a bunch, and I don't know how many of these either. I think I'm going to do 2 per strip, but I'm not, or 2 per head pin, eye pin, but I'm not sure. So you may need more, but just grab out those. And then you're going to need 4 of the spacer beads, the copper spacer beads, and a bunch of the bead caps. I think we're going to use those. We'll see as we go. I design as I go. So you're going to need 2 longer eye pins or some wire if you want to do this. These are 2-inch, I believe. They may actually be 2.5. I think they're 2 though. Let me see here. Yeah, these are 2-inch eye pins, and then I've got some 1.5-inch eye pins. I have 2 2-inch eye pins, and I've got 5 1.5-inch eye pins. I have the chain that they included in the box this month, and it looks like I've got about a 12-inch, 11 3/4 inch strand. I've got 2 of them. Those are going to be the sides of the necklace. You're going to need some jump rings. You're going to need a ring for your lobster and a lobster clasp. Okay, so that is everything that you're going to need for the necklace, I believe. Now, I did kind of go through and I picked out of these agate beads, I picked out the more bluish toned ones if I could, because I really wanted them all to kind of match. So I didn't have enough to do just all the blue tones. So I mixed a little bit of the lighter ones in, but I tried to kind of stick with that, you know, color scheme there. All right, so I think that's everything. Grab up your stuff, get your pliers, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to set these aside because we're not going to use them till the end. The first thing we're going to do is make, and you know what? I don't know why I said you needed 2 2-inch eye pins. You only need 1. Sorry, guys. Yeah, just 1 2-inch eye pin. This is what we're going to hang all of our dangles from. We're going to make 5 dangles, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to take one of, I'm going to take one of the little aqua beads here, one of my crackle agate beads, and I just have to see how many that I can actually fit on this thing. And I may actually let me put these little bead caps on the crackle agate. We'll see how they look. So there's one. Okay, then I'm going to put one of the big quartz beads on. Okay, so this is what I've got so far. I'm going to do another of the crackle agates. Yeah, I'm going to run out of room. So I can't do too much more than this. And then we'll put this little guy on top. And let me see if I even have enough room to make my loop after I put him on. I may not. It would be pretty touchy if I did. So I'm probably going to remove the bead caps. Let's see how that looks. I know I could use wire, but I really don't want to use wire. I'm not really good with wire. We all know that. If you've watched me, everybody knows that. So yeah, I'm just going to take the bead caps out, and that gives me plenty of room for a loop at the top. And this is what we're going to have. Okay, so go ahead, and here's how I do my loops. I make a 90-degree bend with my chain nose pliers. I cut this loop. I don't know, you kind of learn where you need to cut it. I give it about that much, so whatever that is, I don't know. But you kind of learn over time what you're comfortable with and how you like your loops. And then I take my pliers and I just roll this back until it touches itself and I've got a loop, okay? Now, I'm going to hang this directly on this wire, but I think I am going to put a spacer bead first. Okay, spacer bead, and then this is going to go on my wire. So just like this. And then I'm going to do another spacer bead. Just like that. And then we're just going to make another of these, just exactly like the one we've got. Okay, so, and I'm just trying to kind of make, as I go across here, I want them to be, see how these beads kind of match? So they're more of the, they have more of the brown tones in them. So as I go across, I'm going to try to make all of those ones on the bottom have a little more of the brown tone. The one on the top have a little more of the aqua tone, if that makes sense. I kind of want them to match as I go across. All right, I'm going to do this little guy on top here. And same thing, just make a loop like I did a minute ago. Roll my loop back. Now, one thing that I do want to check before I go much farther is I want to hang this guy on, and I want to see if there's enough room in between the spacers, and there's really not. So what I want to do, I believe, is I'm going to do a spacer, and how do I want to do this? Do I want to do a bigger bead? This guy, let me see here. And I actually just may do 2 spacers. Let me see what they look like. Because my big fat bead here in the middle, this guy, I want them to hang, yeah, I think it's going to take the 2 spacers. Okay, and that's fine. So just pull out a bunch of these spacers that they put in the box. You should have plenty unless you've used them for something else, and I hadn't, so I've got a bunch of them still here. And we're just going to do 2 in between each thing. And if we can't do 5 of these, it'll be okay. Is that going to hang good? See, I want these guys to be side by side, but these beads are kind of fat, so I just want to make sure that that's going to work. All right, let me make another one. We'll see how they're going to look. So you can just kind of, you know, do it as you go. If you need to add different beads, we can always do that. Like I could always use these little aqua beads up in here somewhere. So let's just see how it looks. Okay, so I need another brownish one. Then I need my big guy right here. A bluish one. And you don't have to make them match all the way across. I mean, you can do it however you want. That's just kind of how I wanted to do this. Okay. I see the mailman. Oh yeah, mailman's at the front door. I could hear him. He's picking up my packages that are people that ordered from my website. I've got my packages on the front porch, and I could hear, if you hear the beeping, I could hear the beeping noise of his little machine as he scans them in. Our mailman's awesome. I'm going to miss him when we move. He's probably not going to miss us, but I'm going to miss him. Okay, so there's Chris is out there talking to him now. Chris is so loud. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think I'm not really liking it's too much space in between them. So let's try this again and just see how this looks. Maybe the one bead between will be okay. Goodness, it's just a little too much. And I wish these little apatite beads here, I don't think they'll fit on my eye pins. They are, yeah, they're not going to. They're just too tiny. They're pretty, but oh my gosh, they're just so tiny, they're almost useless. So, okay, well, let's try this. Let's do a spacer bead, then a small aqua bead, then our thing, our dangle, then another small aqua bead. Let's just do 2 of them, and we'll see how that might be just enough room in between each thing to make it hang like I'm wanting it to. Yeah, I think that's going to be better. So I'm just going to do the little aqua beads across the top. You should have plenty of those as well. They gave us a huge strand of these. There we go. Yeah, I think that's going to look best. We'll just do it like that. And they hang pretty well just like that. Okay, so 2 more of these guys. And see, sometimes when you're designing, you just kind of have to trial and error, you know. It doesn't always work out like you have it in your head. Okay, so let's do another of the aqua beads. And we'll do this guy here, our big bead. And I know I could adjust the amount of, I mean, I could just do 4 across there. And if I had to, I would. But I really kind of want to do 5 for some reason. Okay, we're going to make a loop. And roll this back. And just hang it on here. So there's number 4. And you know, I may end up having to do 4 instead of 5. I don't know if 5 is going to fit without, and I don't really want to use wire. We'll try the last one and just see. I don't know that it's going to work though. They will need to be squished together, so I will have a little extra wire, but I would have to get, let's see, I could do this. I could take this aqua bead off. That'll work. And just do the aqua beads in between these guys. There's always a plan B. It's kind of like GPS. You take a wrong turn and you reroute. And I love it. When we were traveling, we went to Norfolk, Virginia this past weekend, and you know, we take a wrong turn and Chris freaks out, and I'm like, it's okay. They'll reroute us. Just hold on. I mean, and sure enough, nice little GPS man goes, rerouting. Yeah, so it's all good. You know, you can just redo it and go a different way. Yep. So that's what we're going to do here. And I think it's going to fit just perfectly this way. So let's do 1 more of our dangles. So we got this guy. Then we need a brownish one, which I kind of like this one. It's got a big brown spot on it. This guy right here. Then a bluish one. We'll go with this one. Actually, I might go with this one. It's a little more opaque because I did kind of an opaque one right there in the middle. Yeah, we'll go that way. And then this little guy right here. Okay, make our loop. And roll this guy back. Okay, so I'm going to hang this one on. Then I'm going to put my copper spacer bead to finish it off. I think it's going to be good. And then I'm going to make a loop here. So I'm just going to do a 90-degree angle. And I'm not going to do this super tight. You want it to be firm, but you don't want it to be so tight that there's no movement in there. You do want your beads to be able to move. Just slightly. Not a whole big bunch, but... Okay, so there is a loop. So here's what we have. Straighten it out, because it may be a little bit wonky. And maybe I didn't leave enough room in there. We'll see how it looks here in a second. I do like it like this, but it's a tad bit tight. Okay, now we're going to hang all of these metal beads from these, and we're going to have to do it with little jump rings, because I don't think that I can get the metal bead on this eye pin. Let me look and see. I'll just take an empty eye pin and see. But the way that they go, I tried this the other day and I just couldn't get them to go on there very well. Yeah, they don't want to go on eye pins very well. They don't want to go on any loops very well. And I don't want to have to wire wrap them. So I think I'm just going to use jump rings. Okay, so if you have like a 6mm jump ring is pretty perfect for this. And I know I don't really like to use bigger jump rings, but there's really no choice in this matter, because these are going to have to hang on here. Now, if I had something slightly smaller, I don't know if these would go on it or not. I have all kinds of jump rings over here of various different sizes, but this is a slightly smaller one here. And let's just see. I don't think, but maybe it will. Oh, it does. Okay. So we're going to go with the slightly smaller version, because I prefer not to use huge jump rings if I don't have to. So go ahead and hang it on here. This is like a 6mm jump, or 4mm jump ring. Now, if you look at it, it's hanging good. So your loop on the bottom needs to be facing forward, okay? Not like the loop, the circle part needs to be facing that way, if that makes sense. Here, look at it. This is what I'm trying to say. You don't want it like this, okay? So if you have other ones, you're going to have to twist them. And to do that, you just take it and turn it forward, just like that. It's not hard, and it will cause your little daggers to hang the right way. So just twist those if you need to make them facing forward. See, this guy's facing wrong right here. I just need to take it and twist him. And just do that with all of them. Make them forward facing, okay? And then use your little 6mm, or I believe these are 4. I believe that's a 4mm jump ring that I just used. Use your little 4mm to hang your daggers on the bottoms. Okay, so just like this. We're just going to hang it right on there. And if you're able to use a smaller jump ring, then that's a wonderful thing. But I don't think I can get these daggers on anything smaller. Okay, there we go. Yep, I think it's going to be okay. Alright, and let me get some more of the little 4mm ones. I have all my jump rings just mixed together. I know that's a terrible thing, and probably everybody's like totally appalled when they hear that. But I had everything all separated out really nicely, and then I dropped them all one day. And the box flew open that they were all separated out really nicely in, and they went everywhere. And I picked them all up and did not separate them back out again. So this is how they are. They're all together, all sizes, in the same thing, and I'm far too lazy to go in there and separate them all out. Actually, I'm not too lazy. I just don't have time. I don't have time to do that. So they remain stuck all together in the same box, every size. And I just have to kind of search through them when I'm making something to pick out the size that I need. So, lesson learned. Don't store your tiny little jump rings in those kind of tackle boxes that if you drop it, they're going to come open and go everywhere. That's a bad thing. If you never drop it, you don't have a problem, but believe me, if you drop it, it's a bad thing. So don't do that. And I am currently trying to find another couple of 4mm. I know I have to have some. Is that one? No, that's too big. Here's one. They like to hide when I need them the most. Okay. So let's go ahead and put this one on, and then I've got one more, and then we're going to hang it on our chain. You do want to make sure that you're hanging your metal beads with the front part forward as you're doing this. So, I mean, you want, in the end, you kind of want them all hanging the same direction, you know, the fronts instead of the back. Actually, they're double-sided. They're exactly the same, so it doesn't matter. Okay, that's good. For some reason, I thought there was a difference, but there's not. So that makes it really easy. And let me find one more jump ring here, and we're good to go. Yeah, I hated that they all ended up in the same container, and now I do not store them like that anymore. I separate them out and use the little Harbor Freight containers. Because if you drop that, your chances of them just flying open and stuff, you know, mixing up everywhere is a lot less. So, anyway, pro tip there, guys. Learn from my mistakes. Alright, so here's our last one. The earrings to this, I think, are going to be really cute, too. Okay. Alright, so there we go. So we have our bar here now. Now, you can kind of bend this to make it hang right. So just, you know, make sure that it's hanging the way you want it to hang. And we're going to take our chain here, and I'm going to hook the chain onto the little loops here. And what I'm going to do is make sure I'm going to take this loop in this plier, this loop in this plier, and just make sure that they're both facing the same direction, so it's going to hang nicely. And I am going to use some small jump rings to hang this, because I like the way that it gives it a little movement, and they don't bind up when you use jump rings. I feel like if you just hang your chain directly on this, it kind of tends to bind up sometimes, and I don't like that. So I like to use a little jump ring, just a small one. Okay. This is a very simple necklace. It's very minimal. Not a whole lot, but I thought it would be a pretty use of those daggers. Okay, just like that. And here's what we have. Okay, now we're just going to go to the top, and I'm going to use the same small jump rings, and I'm going to hook my lobster on one side of the chain. And my ring for my lobster on the other side. If you want to do an extender chain, you can. I don't think I'm going to on this, because I think I'm going to keep this one. I love the colors in it. I think I'm going to keep it, and I measured, you know, how I wanted it to go on how I wanted it to lay. So I've got it pretty much the length that I want it to be for me. So let's go ahead and just put the other ring on here, this little decorative ring that I've got for the lobster to clasp onto. And that's it, guys. That is the end of this. It's so easy to make this little necklace, and there's what it turns out looking like. So now we're going to do the earrings, and they're basically the same thing. I've got I have 4 eye pins. Actually, I have 6, because the earrings are not going to be nearly as, they're just going to be a lot smaller. There's going to be 2 hanging from each eye pin. So I've got 2 daggers. I have 2 of the quartz beads. And then I've got 2 for the bottom. These 2 little guys for the bottom. And then I have the 2 for the top. They're going to be long like this, but there's only going to be 2 hanging across. And then I've got my space, or my, I can't think. And I'm saying 2 of everything, but you need to double that. It needs to be 4 of everything, because that's what you're going to need. You know, you're going to need 2 per earring. And I'm looking because I had one more bluish bead. Actually, he's very dark. I don't know that he's going to look very good with that one, but that's all I have left, so that's what we're going to have to go with. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one. So this is the same thing. We are going to put our spacer bead on the end, okay, just like this, and then we're going to make our little dangles. So the dangles are exactly the same. We're going to do the small bead, the brownish crackle bead, the quartz bead. If I can pick it up and put it on there. The blue, and then our other little small bead, little aqua bead. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, make this at a 90-degree angle, make my loop, and roll this back. And you're going to need a couple ear wires as well. I'm just going to use fish hooks for this. So we're going to put him on here. Then I'm going to do 2 of the little aqua beads. Okay, make my second one, same thing. Have trouble finding the holes in these sometimes. Okay, make my loop. Roll this back. Hang this right on here. And we're just going to do another spacer bead, just like that. Okay, so we're going to make a 90-degree angle here, make a loop. And I didn't mention, but you're going to need some little pieces of chain, the same chain that you used on your other one there. You're going to need them, and I think I had mine cut. Let me see how long my chains are. They're not real long. And I may even cut them shorter, but let me see how long. They're about 1 inch. Yeah, about, well, a little over 1 inch. And I'm probably going to cut them down. I don't think I want them to be quite that long, because these are going to be super long earrings if I have the chain that long. So let me find 2 little 4mm jump rings over here for my dangles. Here's one. They like to hide, those little 4mm ones do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put my little dangle on, just like this. Close that up. And one more. Here we go. This is not the way you should open your jump rings either. Don't do what I'm doing. You should use your pliers, but sometimes if they're thin enough, it's easy just to use your fingers to open them and close them, but that's not the best way to do it. Okay, so here's what we've got. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our little chain, and I am definitely going to cut this probably in half. Let me look at it and see if I fold it in half, how long that makes it, because otherwise they're going to be super long. Yeah, that's going to work. So I'm just going to fold it over, cut it in half. So it's going to be about, I don't know, a little over 1/2 inch long. I can tell you how many links here, just a second. Okay, so I cut that. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 links per side. And these I am going to hang directly onto, I'm going to hang directly onto this, and then I'm going to hook it with a jump ring onto the top. And I'm doing that because I need to save length. You know, I don't want the length of an added jump ring right here. Even though I like to usually hook these on with jump rings, but actually, what am I doing? I am hooking it on with a jump ring. That's not what I want to do. I want to open this and hook it right on here. I'm going to use the jump ring at the top. And like I said, normally I don't like to do that. I like to use the jump rings because I feel like this can bind up some. but I'm trying to save length because I don't want it to be, you know, I want them to be long. I like long earrings, but I don't want them to be freakishly long, if that makes sense. So we're going to put this one right on here. Close it up. All right, now we've got our 2 little chains here, and they do have to hook on with a jump ring. So I'm going to take this jump ring. I've got my ring right here, and I'm not going to put them together on this jump ring. I'm just going to take the jump ring and hook it right to the ring. I thought about putting them together on the jump ring, but I think if I do that, it's just going to make them kind of look weird because the chains aren't super long. So there's one. I'm going to do the same thing on this other one. It's going to bring them together anyway when they come to the center here to hook on this little ring. Okay, so we'll take this one right on here. Oops. Just like that, and here's what we have. Okay, just like that. Now, I do have a fishhook ear wire. If I can find it, it's buried over here. And I'm just going to hook it right on here. Close it up. And these are long, but I don't think they're too long. I like them. So that is the set, guys, and I am going to put it on a form here and let you see the necklace, and I just have the one earring, so I'll make the other one really quick, and then I will put them on the form, and you can see how they look. So I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so excuse the mess in the background. Here is the necklace and the earrings, and I think they turned out really, really cute. I like them as a set. So if you are interested in subscribing to the Bargain Bead Box, I will have links in the description box below. And I do tutorials with everything that I get out of the Bargain Bead Box. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified whenever I upload new videos. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.